Previously here on the channel, I made a Strand Hunter build utilizing the 6 Coyote and the Threaded Spectre aspect, so you can create infinite amount of Spectres with a bunch of Threadlings and allow you to pretty much abuse all your abilities. But with the new aspect this season, Whirling Maelstrom, I want to come back to this build because with this new aspect, it makes this build just even better. So let's not waste any time and dive right into it. So like I said, the exact we're going to be using is the 6 Coyote. This is what it looks like. It actually has an ornament, which I really like because it does match my drip here, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is the perk, Double Dodge. You gain a second dodge charge. Yes, very basic, but we're going to be utilizing it to its full potential with this build. Obviously, we want to take advantage of certain seasonal artifact perks this time around, and since we are going to be utilizing the Tangle with Whirling Maelstrom, there's going to be some really good ones. So first up here, I would recommend picking up the Arc Strand, Solar Strand, or Void Strand Siphon combo. For me personally, for my build for this, I'm using Solar Weapons and Strand Weapons, so that's why I am utilizing the Solar Strand Siphon combo. But if you are utilizing Strand and Arc and Strand and Void, I would recommend using those. Now, skipping over the third column, going straight to the fourth, we have communal pickups. Again, this isn't necessary for this build, but it does help if someone pretty much takes your Tangle. So when an ally destroys or picks up your Tangle or Elemental Orb, the Tangle cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds, and you gain bonus damage with weapons matching your subclass for 10 seconds. So not only if someone takes it, you pretty much get a cooldown for your next Tangle, you do get bonus Strand damage since we are on the Strand subclass, so keep that in mind. Next, refreshing pickups. Picking up a Tangle or Elemental Orb grants energy to your least powered ability. You know, if we're going to be picking up the Tangles anyway, we might as well help ourselves out. Now, the last two in the final column, these ones are fantastic. So, Elemental Munitions. Combatant final blows with Tangles or Elemental Orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. Note that the Whirling Maelstrom, Beyblade Tangle, procs this when it kills targets, so you can create a lot of ammo for your teammates. Then lastly, Frenzied Stacks. Your armor charges grant bonus damage to thrown Tangles or Elemental Orbs. Your armor charge now decays over time. This is essentially like a weapon surge mod for the Tangle. So as long as you have armor charges on, you pretty much get bonus damage with the Whirling Maelstrom Tangle. Now, going under the Thread Runner subclass for our abilities, I'm opting for Gambler's Dodge. When I dodge near a target, I can get my melee back. For movement, I'm going triple jump, but again, you can use what you like. We only have the one melee, which is Threaded Spike. Again, you're going to throw that at a target. It can sever a target, which can also create a Tangle. The reason we're using Gambler's Dodge is so when I dodge near a target, I can have multiple amounts of these melees in a row. Yes, you can come back and catch it. That's great and all, but I just find it more efficient if I can just toss a bunch of them out. Then lastly, for the grenade, I like the grapple, but again, if you're doing content where you need to suspend targets, I would recommend the Shackle Grenade. Now for our aspects, first up, Threaded Spectre. Again, activating your class ability leaves behind a decoy woven of strand matter that draws the attention of nearby combatants. So what's pretty cool is that it actually takes aggro from targets away from you. So that's always a good survivability aspect. And then after taking significant damage or when combatants approach, the decoy detonates, dealing damage and releasing Threadlings that seek out and attack nearby foes. Note, you can destroy the Spectre yourself. And obviously, the second one we're going to be using is Whirling Maelstrom. Destroying a Tangle will weave a violent writhing mass of strand fibers. The strand mass seeks out and damages targets, emitting unraveling projectiles when it defeats them. Essentially, it turns the Tangle into a Beyblade. And lastly, for our fragments, first up, Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. It's a -10 to discipline. Next up, Thread of Evolution. Threadlings travel farther and deal additional damage. That is a +10 to intellect. Pretty much we want those Threadlings to, be even better. They already got a buff this season of +30% in PvE, so that's already great. Next up, Thread of Warding. Classic, you definitely want this one in the setup. Picking up an Orb of Power, grants Woven Mail. It is a -10 to resilience, but if you can get 100 resilience, this adds on even more damage resistance. And then lastly, I'm going with the classic Thread of Continuity. Suspend, Unravel, and Sever effects applied to targets have an increased duration. Next, going over the armor mods that I'm using. First up, starting with the helmet. Like I said, I am utilizing the Solar Strand Dual Siphon, so if I get Rapid Solar or Strand Weapon Final Blows, it creates Orbs of Power. Again, if you're going to be using Strand Arc or Strand Void weapons, again, be sure to put on that Siphon mod. And then next up, I do like Dynamo. Again, reduces super cooldown when using your class ability. Your targets, we are going to be dodging a lot, so this is going to be good. On the gauntlets, I'm using Impact Induction. Causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown, and then Focusing Strike grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack. So pretty much your melee cools down your grenade and your class ability. Then lastly, I like Font of Focus because we are going to be taking advantage of having a lot of armor charges at a time and pretty much trying to keep that timer up as much as possible for Frenzied Stacks on the artifact. What Font of Focus does is you gain bonus to discipline while you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time. Essentially, picking up Orbs of Power gives you armor charges. Minimum, you can have 3. And with the blue mods, they each last 10 seconds. So that's 30 seconds of this bonus. And with any font mod, one font mod is plus 30 to a stat. So my discipline is currently at 50. So once I have an armor charge, that actually bumps that up to 80. If you have 2 of these on, it bumps it up to 50. If you have 3, it's 60 plus, stat to that. But we're only going to go with 1. If you didn't want to use this one, you can also use Bolstering Detonation here. Again, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. This is also a very good one because, again, we want those dodges as much as possible. On the chest piece, you can use whatever combination of reserve and resistance mods that you like. Again, since I'm using solar weapons for my special and my heavy, I want solar reserves. Then I have arc resistance here. But like I said, just make sure your reserve mod matches whatever weapons you're using and then utilize whatever resistance mods you want. For our boots here, I am rocking recuperation. Replenishes health each time you pick up an orb of power. Next up, solar weapon surge. Your solar weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time. So just like with font to focus, solar weapon surge can also take advantage of when you have an armor charge. It doesn't make the timer any faster or anything like that. You basically just gain the bonus from just having an armor charge. And then lastly here, I like Font of Agility. Again, you gain bonus to mobility while you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time. Very similar to Font of Focus. This is just a plus 30 to mobility. So again, if you want that stat bonus, that is totally fine as well. If you wanted to do something like Strand Weapon Surge as well, you could do that, basically getting the bonus to Strand Weapons, but I didn't find it extremely necessary. But we do have multiple options to choose from here, so go with what you like. And then lastly on the class item here, I'm going with Powerful Attraction. Automatically collects nearby orbs of power when you activate your class ability. Next up, Reaper. After using your class ability, your next weapon final blow spawns an orb of power. And then lastly, Bomber reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. I would recommend also looking into time dilation if you would like. I didn't find it super necessary, but if you want to use it, that's totally fine. Your decaying armor charge has a longer duration, so that 10 seconds that you normally get per armor charge now bumps up to 15. So if you have 3 armor charges, that's 45 seconds of bonus weapon damage, bonus to your stats, all that great jazz. Now for stats to focus on, we talk about it every video. Try to have tier 10 100 resilience, 30% damage reduction in PvE. You definitely want that. Outside of that, there's really only 3 other stats you need to focus on. Number 1 being mobility. Mobility is tied to the dodge on the hunter, so the more mobility you have, the faster you can get that dodge back. Similar with discipline, discipline is tied to your grenade stat, so again, the higher that is, the faster you get that grenade cooldown. But like I mentioned on the armor mods and under the subclass, there's multiple ways that we can get these back very quickly. And then the last one would be intellect. Intellect is tied to how fast you get your super, so if you want that one, go for it. Recovery is not really necessary, and neither is strength, as we have gambler's dodge. So again, main one, focus on resilience. Now for weapon options, like I said, I am using the solar and strand siphon combo. So I have a strand primary and then a solar special and heavy weapon here. I really like Rufus's Fury, the main reason being paracausal affinity. Pretty much final blows with the energy type matching this weapon's alignment grant increased damage for a short period of time. It's a strand weapon, we're on the strand subclass, so just getting kills gives this thing an increase in damage, which is just fantastic. Then, just for my energy and heavy weapon, for example, I have a Cartesian with Vorpal, I'm using Gallahorn, whatever. It doesn't really matter as long as you have good PvE weapons to use. Like I said, if you're going to be using arc weapons in these slots, you can put on the arc strand siphon combo. That's totally fine, but as long as you have good PvE weapons that are strand and then whatever energy type you have, that's totally going to work for this build. Now if you got through all that and you're still a little confused about how this build works, I'm going to break it down for you. But essentially, as long as you are abusing your abilities, you're going to have threaded specters on the field and a Beyblade that is going to have extra damage and give everybody ammo. Now let's say we're about to go into an engagement. What do we want to do? First thing I recommend is getting a Tangle ready so we can take advantage of the Whirling Maelstrom, so we can go ahead and toss that out. It can go do its thing with the Beyblade and all that great jazz. So we can either toss our melee, use our grapple, use a shout grenade, whatever you're using on that. Again, using the threaded specter as well. We're dodging near targets to get the melee back again. So there's pretty much always a guaranteed way that you can create a Tangle here. And so once you do that, again, the Whirling Maelstrom is going to go out with our fragments. Again, those are just bonuses. Dealing any damage allows us to get our grenade back even faster. The threadlings that are created from the threaded specter deal additional damage and travel farther. Any orbs of power we create, again, is going to give us woven mail and also armor charges. That's a big thing we're going to talk about. And then thread of continuity, again, all those effects, those debuffs from sever, unravel, all that great jazz are going to last longer. For the Tangle specifically under the seasonal artifact, again with communal pickups, if someone picks up your Tangle or destroys it, again you're going to get a cooldown for your next Tangle and bonus weapon damage for those strand weapons, which is going to be great. Again, refreshing pickups. When you do pick up that Tangle, you get energy for your least powered ability. Again with elemental munitions, when you throw out that Tangle and the Tangle Beyblade, Whirling Maelstrom is getting kills, having the chance to drop special heavy ammo for you and your team is just absolutely insane, especially since it could proc it multiple times since it travels around. And then with Frenzied Stacks, the thing I mentioned, getting armor charges, collecting orbs of power, Frenzied Stacks is kicking in. So now the Whirling Maelstrom, orb that's going around, the Tangle going around, does increased damage to those targets as well. Everything else is honestly just a bonus. With all the armor charges we're getting, from Orbs of Power, from, Strand and Solar Weapon Rapid Final Blows, Reaper proccing, every time we dodge and get a weapon kill, that's also another Orb of Power, orbs from our teammates, all that great jazz. As long as we have armor charges, we get bonus to our stats for our grenade and our dodge back, plus bonus weapon damage for solar weapon surge as well. With our other armor mods, on the helmet, we're going to be dodging near targets anyway with Gambler's Dodge to get the melee back, so we get free super energy from Dynamo. On the gauntlets, we have Impact Induction and Focusing Strike, so when we deal melee damage, it doesn't have to be a kill, it's just damage. We get a cooldown for our grenade and our dodge ability. On the boots with Recuperation, as long as we're creating Orbs of Power when we pick those up, that is what is going to heal us, since there really isn't any other way to heal with this build. And then lastly, with Powerful Attraction, when we dodge, all the orbs near us get collected, so that procs Recuperation and armor charges as well. And with Reaper, like I mentioned, after we dodge and get a kill with the weapon, that's another free Orb of Power, and Bomber on the class item, giving us our grenade back even faster every time we dodge. As you can tell, the weapons really aren't like the main portion of this build. Like, yes, we're going to be able to create orbs as long as we get weapon kills and everything like that, but you can abuse your abilities like crazy. With Whirling Maelstrom, you have a Tangle that can attack multiple targets, create ammo, and have bonus damage. Like, there's just so much to abuse with your abilities that you're essentially just never going to run out. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is my updated Infinite Spectre Strand Hunter build. I'm going to put a build for this. It's going to be a dim link in the description, so you can copy everything that I'm using down to the subclass, the armor mods, even the drip, if you would like, if you want to copy that as well. Some people are asking me about that. And again, test it out for yourself and let me know what you guys think. Do you like this build? Do you not like it? Is there something that you like using on this build? A fragment, a weapon, certain armor mod? Definitely let me know in the comments, because I'm testing stuff out in this game all the time. In any event, if what you saw brought you some value or entertainment, again, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then turn on the bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on another build video here on the channel. If you didn't know, we live stream here on YouTube and also on Kick. That link will be in the description. Again, we are mainly going to be playing Destiny 2, so if you do want to hop in for any activities, PvE, PvP, raids, Crota's end raid carries, we've been doing a lot of those lately, dungeons, anything like that, whatever we're doing, again, just hop in the chat, we'll figure something out. And if you want to be proactive, join my Discord. Again, that link will also be in the description. Again, people are looking to play Destiny 2, but we're also talking about other games, PC tech, anime, and more. Lastly, if you're looking to support the channel even more, you can look into becoming a member. If you don't know what a membership is essentially like a Twitch subscription. Again, it's going to give you access to the exclusive emotes, the monthly badges, and other cool stuff here on the channel. So if you would like more information, all you have to do is press the join button next to subscribe, and that'll give you a rundown with all the details you need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.